Dark Trip VR is basically a psychedelic escape room, or at least that's how they pen it, and to be honest with you, after playing it, it kind of is that, yes. The thing that kind of like set this one apart for me was the fact that you're not just in rooms, this goes outside and all, which kind of is a refreshing change.
So these little areas are quite cool, little outside areas. I didn't think that we would have in this. Whoops-a-daisy. And yeah, although as I'm going to mention a little bit later on, or I've already mentioned, it does look a bit sparse, and I'm guessing that is probably because of the MetaQuest.
Okay, so that's not the only thing that sets this apart. The fact that the main protagonist, wow, I said it at last, is kind of made or forced to take pills, although you kind of like just take them yourself. And after taking them, you're kind of like in a different world, almost like the Matrix, you know what I mean? They take off one layer and this is the real thing, supposedly.
These little buggers do this, and everything is different. Also, look at what you've just eaten. I'm not quite sure. Hang on. Let's get over it. That was a bit of a shock to me. Look at her wiggling around. Yeah, they don't come out anymore.
Although I will say that for an escape room, it does actually have some pretty decent and surprising type of puzzles. The puzzles are actually done quite neatly, I found, and I did enjoy trying to solve mostly all of them. I haven't completed the game because I couldn't solve them all, or at least I haven't yet, as I will be going back to it. Each room had, I felt, their own surprises and their uniqueness, which they did really well, but I will say that some were a lot better than others, some very sparse, not really much in it, and I'm guessing some of that is actually down to maybe the port onto the MetaQuest. But yeah, I did find that some levels were very bare bones.
Right, it's a little bit dark. That is the outside, and I'm basically here. But this is actually quite cool, to be fair. You could either wander around like this. It's a nice little effect. Oh, shit. Or do that. Oh, this is a nice little puzzle, this one. I did enjoy it. So some of these puzzles are actually quite large. Some of them in little pokey rooms like this, and some of them in larger rooms, as you've seen in the actual clip that I overlay this all with. So it's not really difficult, so you just don't have a clue how to do it. It does take a bit of working out, but there are some nice little touches, and I like the fact that you have to use certain items to do, like cherry can, and then whoop. Yeah, I like the fact that you have to use other objects to make other objects work and all. It's a nice little, addition to the puzzling and all.
So this is a horror game, and yeah, it's okay. It has a few jump scares, maybe. I'm not quite sure, but I didn't really get that scared. It was more like being enclosed in the darkness, maybe a little bit of claustrophobicness. Graphically, I found it was okay, I believe. It wasn't too great. It had that low, I think, poly type look about it. I thought it was okay, and it kind of served its purpose, but it did make me wonder what other versions look like, obviously, like the PC and all. Although there were some good I am high, I mean that in the literal sense, effects in this game. Sound-wise, it was okay. It was spooky. I think there was some music in it. Honestly, can't remember now. No, there must have been spooky music. Obviously, really attracted my attention. Some of the sounds around you were pretty decent. You got all these like odd sounds in the background constantly burning into your head. But it wasn't too bad. It wasn't offensive. So yeah, all right, I suppose.
To be fair, some of the rooms are quite quiet, atmospheric, one might say, and sometimes it's just nothing at all until you move or activate something, or indeed open something. The sound, there doesn't seem to be music all the way through it. Maybe that's why I missed that bit, but as I mentioned, I didn't notice it even if it was there. The actual graphics though, they're a little bit, yeah, as I mentioned, they're not the best I've ever seen, to be honest with you. They're a little bit low poly, or I don't know what you'd call them, but there are some nice little effects like the shadows and all, and the fact that the light can only, you put it in light and it brings up what it is. Otherwise it's blank, shadows and the like. It's not too shabby, but I wouldn't say it's the best thing I've ever seen.
The gameplay and controls was pretty decent. I did enjoy it, didn't really find it too boring. There were some issues control wise trying to click like something earlier on. I won't give it away, but I was trying to do it and it kind of like wasn't working properly. I managed to get it done, but yeah, it was a bit weird. Other than that, mostly everything else is played and controlled quite well.
So basically the game is played by moving around the room either in room scale, like you can actually move around the actual environment just by walking within your surroundings, which is pretty cool, I have to admit. Or you can use kind of like a teleporting type thing, and then open drawers. This all feels all right. There are collectibles. Ooh, look at that, yay, picture, and then it goes somewhere else. And then nothing else there. You can pick up things and then use them here. And then there's this little gadget here, which basically gives you like settings and the like. I don't know why it's over there, that is weird. Oh, there it is. And then, yeah, you can use it to adjust settings. And there it is, gone. And then this is the only thing that felt a bit weird to me out of all the puzzles I've tried. I don't know why it just doesn't work as well. But hey, that is the movement essentially.
So onto the score. Did I enjoy playing Dark Trip VR? I did. I found the puzzles a little bit different to the norm, and yeah, it put out quite a good atmosphere. But if it was going for the horror element, I don't think it matched or got there. It was going for a kinkier type thing. Ingesting the hallucinogenic pills felt a little bit different and yeah, a little bit unique. And I think if you're into escape route games, then I think this would definitely be up your street. I would also mention this game's in early access, so it can only get better, or hopefully they're going to refine it so it gets better. So at its present state, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. And as it's in early access, it could possibly go further up. So thanks for watching, do subscribe, it really does help, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye bye.